computer.
Hello and welcome to the Coaching Mixer with Erin. Oh no. How do you
It's
pronounce your
okay.
last name?
Aquin, it's okay. It's
Aikman.
good. Finally, like a lot of people don't know.
I was like, wait a minute, I've never said your last name before.
Okay.
Erin Aikman and Elena McCurden. My name is also often mispronounced.
Yes, people say Elena, don't they? Or
They
Alana.
say Ilana, Ilana,
Alana.
Yes,
But it's
Ilana.
Elena,
Yes,
not
yes.
Elena, not Alana.
Yep,
Mhm.
that's right. Elena and Aquin, not, how do people often pronounce your
Aquin,
name?
Akin, lots of ways.
Akeen.
Hmm.
hmm hmm Yeah. Welcome. We are here to have a yummy drink and chat coaching.
Yes.
Yes, welcome. What are you drinking today,
Here's my
Erin?
thyme. Thyme is our secret ingredient.
Ooh.
It's deep in there.
Yes. Yes.
So we're doing mocktails today. Um,
hmm
I have Seedlip, which is a non-alcoholic. I guess it's like a botanical, no alcohol liqueur, not a liqueur, some kind of,
Ooh.
I don't know. It's like gin, but not gin, whatever that is. Whatever we call it. It's some kind of a botanical shot that has no alcohol.
Spirit
Yes,
of
it's a
some kind.
spirit. It's a spiritless spirit.
Excellent.
And thyme from the garden, soda water, lemon, and I let the thyme bake in the sun with some honey today. Just get some an infusion of sun and healing. Thyme is a very healing herb, so I did a little potion today with all of those things.
That sounds incredible. Also, I want to shout out that when you texted to ask which ingredient, I listed a few and you're like, I have everything because you're like a master gardener in my
Not a master
mind.
gardener. They're all in the pot on my deck. What are
My
you
time is from
drinking?
the store. So it's a bit less fancy than yours. It is soda water, or sparkling water. Yeah, just sparkling carbonated water and some muddled blackberries,
Mm.
a dash of lemon, a little bit of maple syrup because I was just
Nice.
in Canada and in honor of you, and then some
Yay.
thyme. Yeah, it's
Amazing.
tasty.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Ah,
Time's a tough one, though. I had to get Steve lovingly saw my drink. He was like, "Would you like me to strain that for you?" I made this one by myself, but he did strain it
I
today.
am impressed. Yeah, mine, I just like committed to having lots of detritus in it. I
Yeah.
was like, I'll just muddle the blackberries. I'm gonna get seeds in my teeth. It's
Hmm.
gonna be glorious.
So if you're watching on YouTube, yay!
Yes. If you're like, why does Elena have a black tooth? Maybe it's a
Or
blackberry
I'll have
seed.
some time too. It's
Mm-hmm.
lucky
Mm-hmm.
viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
so even though we're not drinking alcohol, I think we actually have some potentially very charged things to talk about today.
Yes. So, oh yeah, there's the time.
Yeah,
Just chewing my drink
yeah,
here.
that's good.
Um, so I thought it would be fun for us to chat about what we think one of the most interesting questions facing the coaching industry today is. I don't know about you, Erin, but it seems to me like there's been a bit of a transition in the coaching industry in the past couple of years. A lot of, at least like in our corner of the coaching industry, a lot of the leadership has either dramatically evolved or actually just like changed.
Mhm.
A lot of the big companies or the big voices in the coaching industry seem to have either like stepped away or changed pretty significantly. So I think I think that is indicative of maybe like some larger cultural
Yeah.
shifts. And I just think it would be fun to chat about them.
Yeah.
And also just through the lens of like what you find most compelling and most interesting.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, I'm even curious when you say that, are what are you seeing within your network, within your community, with just like the people you're observing? Because I think that some of it is actually really good news. I think it's actually made a lot of
Mm.
space for people who maybe felt like they didn't fit into a certain image of like the successful life coach and like what that was supposed to be and what that was supposed to look like, and therefore felt that they could never really become successful financially or build a community. And I sort of think like I think it's really good news that not everybody looks the same. Not everybody's
Hmm.
building their business the same. Not everybody is kind of going after certain milestones the way that, at least in our corner of the coaching world, it seemed like we were really focused on as a collective.
Yes, I totally agree. And I think like I want to be clear, I think a lot of what we're like a lot of the people who've come to coaching now who you're seeing really blossom in the industry came through
Mm-hmm.
the people who were before. So like I think
Totally.
it's absolute like they were integral in laying the foundation. And I do think they're like one of the most interesting questions I think is facing the coaching industry now is like, how do we, I don't want to say grapple with or like maybe resolve or like how do we find um like generative stuff in the tension between like individual like the individual hyper individualistic like this is about me and my image and my money goal and like what I want and like a more collective like what am I a part of, what worlds am I creating with my work sort of view of coaching. I think that we're kind of in a moment culturally where whether we want to or not, we're like having to grapple with the question of like, what does collective
Mm-hmm.
liberation look like? What are we building
Yeah.
collectively?
Yeah.
In a way that I think some of the previous iterations of coaching success looked like, what am I selling? Like, what do you want to buy for yourself?
Right.
Like, what change do you want to buy for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's like similar to what you've been seeing, but that is something I find really exciting and
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. And I think it's such a natural evolution because at least when I kind of started really thinking about coaching as a viable career pathway, it was like 2017, 2018. There were not a lot of people doing this. There's certainly not a lot of people who are financially successful who were doing it. It was very much the narrative of like, you can't really do this and make a really great living. Like you can do this as a side hobby. It was kind of like similar to actually my experience as a yoga teacher, which I was very fired up
Mm,
about. Like, no, you can have a whole career and be a full-time yoga teacher if you want to be. Um,
mhm.
but then because it wasn't a thing, I think the earlier people had to really forge the path and make the money goals and make the commercial success a really big part of what they did in order to give people confidence that others could do it. And I think that maybe like part of the issue for many people who followed that is that not everybody uh, has the we talked about resilience last time, but like not everybody has the will to be an entrepreneur. It is like
Mhm.
there's no instant gratification in your running your own business. There's very few companies that are an instant success. And when it's something I think that's so personal to you and what you're offering, like your coaching, like it's such an intimate thing that you're doing with someone, it can feel very personal to be rejected or to have a launch that doesn't go well. Like it can just feel so personal. It's not like selling a widget.
Mhm.
And I think that a lot, I don't think that everyone is cut out to put their heart on their sleeve and go make a living with it. It's like very similar to everything we've talked about being an artist. Like
Mhm.
there are people, everyone can make art, but not everybody is going to want to go through the painful reckoning of having that be criticized and shown in public and have people comment on it. Like it is, I think I do stand by this, but I really think that business is this very spiritual practice because it reveals all of the unresolved stuff within us, all of the places that we have to grow, all of the things that we love about ourselves or don't love about ourselves. And it's a lot of exposure to
Mm-hmm.
people. So I think like the I don't know, it's like the hyper individualization and the straight up money goals and the marketing and all of the business stuff is just not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
And we need it.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be it has to be part of the picture. It shouldn't never be the whole picture, but I think it's a tricky thing to balance, like a heartfelt visionary message that you're putting out into the world and knowing that you still need to get paid to keep the lights on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is why I think we're like to your point, why it was so valuable to have people demonstrate what a
Mhm.
huge amount of success looks
Absolutely.
like
Yep.
through those means. And like that you can just sell something very concrete and
Mhm.
like make a lot of money doing it and create a viable industry out of that. And why it's exciting now that it's like, okay, that's been tested and proven for the
Mhm.
most part. And so now, like now what do we do with it? Like we
Yeah.
can apply this to a lot of different things. We
Mhm.
can apply this to a lot of different people with a lot of different goals in mind.
Mhm.
And that's really exciting.
Yeah, and I think that maybe what's tricky about that for some people who were hoping that they were going to be able to follow a pattern is we're at a point in the industry where I do think that we are going to have to innovate in ways most of us have never thought about. Like
Mm.
just when you thought all you needed was to run a Facebook ad, well, now Facebook ads are hundreds of dollars per lead usually. They're not
Hmm.
as effective as they used to be, or maybe just morally, you don't feel like that is where you would like to put where you want to invest your business's money. I don't
Hmm.
do any paid advertising. I'm like really focused on relationship based sales, but that's also really hard. You know,
Hmm.
like that's not I can't send 10,000 people a message if they're not already in my ecosystem.
Right.
So it's I think that we have not actually seen what the next incredible way of reaching our ideal clients is. And it's not going to and I think it's hard because it's not going to come from some other authority. It's going to come from within us as a collective, to your point.
Hmm.
um and not everybody's excited about that. Some people just want the I remember when Facebook ads were like $5 a lead and I was like, ooh, that's a little steep. Now I'm like, ooh, that's not what I have clients who use it very effectively for their businesses, but it is, just so much more expensive, so much harder to target. Um, Customers are smarter. People are not fooled by a silly freebie that actually has no value. They're not going to be like tricked into responding to obviously an AI generated DM.
Hmm.
We have smarter consumers and we have to
Yeah.
respect them. I think that's great.
Hmm. And I think to some degree that was kind of always the case. Not the like, I mean, yes, consumers have always been smart people. I
Yes.
believe the people that I talk to are always very intelligent, but I think it's like to some degree always been the case that you can't really just follow someone else's
Mm-hmm.
path in this, at least in this field.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I mean, I guess I'm coming from the art field as well, where there was also the illusion that like you can work your way up in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like not really true either.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
It's a nice idea and
Mm-hmm.
it's a very appealing idea for a lot of reasons. And I held on to it for a very long time, but like that's just not really how you build a successful business.
Yeah.
So I think to some degree, yeah, there are tactics that you could use that no longer work, as I'm sure there are tactics and strategies now that people have adapted that you can probably try out. But if you want to have like an actual um a stable successful business, it has to be able to adapt. So like I think that was the case in 2017 just as it is now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna, it's funny that we're not drinking because I'm gonna say something that might be
We're pretty spicy today.
a little spicy.
The
The chai
time.
spice of the thyme. And the thyme
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a chai liqueur. I'm like getting a lot of
Ooh.
cinnamon in this. I'm like, I don't know if cinnamon and thyme go together, but I'm sold right now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how I feel by the end. I might never want to drink this again. But I am also seeing a lot of coaches who've been around for a while really kind of digging their heels in saying, like, I shouldn't have to be doing this. I shouldn't have to be
Mm-hmm.
creating free content. I shouldn't have to be um, making a podcast. I shouldn't have, like, there's a lot of, I think, to your point, like, of the thought of, oh, I just work my way up. And
Mm-hmm.
because I've been doing this for so long and I have this certification, like that should just afford me automatic respect from everyone that comes into my world. They should just be willing to pay me top dollar because of who I am and what I've done. And in some ways, I'm like, I love that there are people who have a deep sense of self-worth. I love that we have an industry full of people who've done enough work on themselves and really feel confident and want to like charge appropriately and all of that. But I think that the shadow of that is the expectation that because you and your mind have done all of this work and you and your mind have all of these certifications and stuff, that someone who's never heard of coaching, never heard of you, never experienced anything that you're doing should just like hand over their credit card without you
Mm-hmm.
taking the time to personally build that trust with that individual. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's really hurting some business owners right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Like I just kind of feel like should ever nothing we're doing in our businesses is beneath us.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will
Yeah.
answer anyone's question. I don't expect someone who's never heard of me before to I mean, we're even doing this, we're experimenting with this in our business right now because we used to, have a consult call and then the person would decide over, however much time they wanted to take to think about it. But like, would they want to work with me for 6 months? And at
Mm-hmm.
some point, I was like, I don't love the fact that someone has a 50-minute phone call with me and then they have to decide if they trust me enough. Like, that seems like a big commitment. So, what we
Mm-hmm.
switched to doing now is we have a 3-session discovery period that's paid. It's a slight discount from what I normally charge, but then the person gets to actually experience the support in between sessions. They get to experience 3 actual interactions. And then from there, if they like it, then we go on. If they don't, we don't. If they need something different, if they're like, you know what, I think I really need individual like retreats. I need a retreat once a month, or I need a retreat once a quarter. We can kind of create something a little more customized. And that has been really well, that's been working really well in a world where there are still people who are like, no, someone has to make a decision on the phone with me after talking to me for 20 minutes about whether they're going to pay me tens of thousands of dollars and work with me for 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
that used
I
to work
unabashedly,
sometimes.
I'm just like,
It's not the cocktail. She's not making that sound because of her drink.
I'm not making this sound because of the cocktail. And this might, I don't know if this is a spicy opinion, but I'm fine with it. Like, I've always been allergic to that
Yeah,
sort of, because that's not how I make decisions.
me neither.
I mean, that's like my observations on the coaching industry are just like from what I'm experiencing right now. I'm noticing like in my life, I'm less interested in the goals that I used to have. I'm more interested in how do I make a better world and how do I use these tools to make a better world? Like that's what is compelling to me right now. And I don't know, I've been in like a kind of a coaching existential crisis for the past year. So I'm not saying like to adopt, this is like a business model that you should adopt, but like, I think that people like what they're excited about, what they're interested in has changed. And I mean, to your point, like people are not necessarily they don't have a lot of money just to throw around to try something that they haven't tested. I think there's maybe more of an awareness as well, which I think is an amazing thing of the clients like how they're experiencing the coach and an understanding that maybe not every coach is for everyone and how they feel in every session matters. Like I think that's a beautiful thing. So anything that we can do to like empower the client more, I think is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the other part of that too is I think that a lot of people have horror stories about coaching.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people who are still seeking coaches have often already worked with someone who was not great, was great at sales. And then as soon as
Mm-hmm.
that person was paid, did not deliver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember hiring a coach. You're not going to believe this. I can't believe I'm going to share this with everybody. I hired a coach. I worked with them. They were okay. Not probably to the level that I had been told that they were at, or like
Mm-hmm.
there was, I was underwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
But on one session, the person, speaking of what's in our teeth, was picking their teeth with a toothpick during our
Oh
call,
no.
like a
What?
flosser on our coaching call.
What? What?
Yep. And cleaning their teeth.
What?
Yes. On a Zoom call.
I'm like trying to think of like how that happens.
I
How
don't
does
know how,
that
I mean, I
happen?
don't know how I let it happen. Like I probably should have stopped.
I'm not saying like
No, I mean
you,
like,
this is not on you.
well, I mean, I was a really new coach. I was a new business owner. This person was really good at sales, but then I realized really quickly that most of the session it was that person talking about themselves. And on another call, this person, I hope this person never listens to it. Whatever. If they do, then that's
Maybe
fine.
they
It's a
should.
reflection. And maybe it'll be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I did that. And I'm here when you want to send me an email and apologize. They also said on another coaching session, wow, I feel like I got coached by you. That was so great. They said that to me, their client who was paying them
You're like, so do I
$10,000.
get this money back?
I I did not continue working with that person to my
Yes.
credit at the time, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that experience, that's a pretty drastic thing. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
imagine. I try not, I mean, I will drink a glass of water if my throat is dry. I'll have a little sip of water, but I try not to do anything that's not 100% focused on the person in front of me. But I've
Mm-hmm.
had clients tell me that, they would do phone calls with their coach and they could tell they were like washing the dishes in the background or like doing errands
What?
around the house. And so, like knowing that, I also feel like I feel like a duty to kind of bring back some integrity into what we do and not just focus on how slick is the sales, how great is the marketing, but like how much
Mm-hmm.
can I actually be present with this person in front of me and respect what they're bringing me and not friggin' pick my teeth.
I will never forget that. That is haunting. That is behavior I do not like to be around like like on public transit,
Oh
let
yeah, right?
alone with my coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I'm very sorry that happened to you.
But it was like such a good learning. Like I mean, honestly, this is the mindset shift. I'm like the $10,000 learning for me in that coaching relationship was like a whole bunch of things not to do because the person
Mm,
was not a bad coach. They were just really more into whatever was going on for them. I was just another cha-ching on the cash register. I was not like,
hmm
they were only invested in me getting my goal so that they could sell me the next package. Like
hmm
it was so clear that this person was not interested and maybe they were burnt out or whatever, but like I think that is an issue with sometimes coaching is like we forget that like the person is not the client in front of us is not like fodder for our story and our marketing and our stuff. They're like we're actually there to serve that person.
hmm
And I say that as someone who has written books that have included client stories. I've only ever done that with permission,
hmm
or with like an anonymous, very vague. So only the client that I'm talking about would know that it's about them and it's something about like how they inspired me, but not like, here I am, I'm such a great coach. Like, let me pick my teeth. There you
Yeah.
go. You weren't expecting that today.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.